that one. I'm not done talking yet. This point of being recorded. Okay.
Just started recording it.
Yeah, I know. I just got a message saying you started
Ditto.
recording. No, I think this is a very pretty basket, and I think I know whose it is because I've seen these before, and I've seen where they are, and they're really cool. They're pretty. They do a lot of work to make these, put these together. And it's a very good image. It's very sharp, very pleasing. It's centered. I like the background lines. I like the background colors on it. It makes it really pop out. Who's the maker?
Jack Smith scores 17.
This is in Juneau or Ketchikan? Jack?
It's Anchorage at my
Oh,
RV
Anchorage,
park.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do this in all the, I know in Juneau and Ketchikan. I didn't see any in Anchorage, but they do them all over the place. They're really pretty.
I bet I know what I get.
Blue.
I love the purple and the yellow with that. I thought that was a great with the one flower with the petals poking up that you really draws you in and you really want to look at those flowers. I was distracted by the busyness in the right corner and the dead leaf in the lower left. I think if the shot had been a little closer on the flowers, it would have been a lot longer. Who's the maker?
Patrick Murray scores 18, rescores 17.
I like the image itself, but I was distracted by the blob that's on the top right corner.
Mhm.
It looks like it's a dead plant, and I didn't know if that really needed to be there or not, but that's the only thing that I didn't like about it. This image is
Evening on the Cape.
something else. It's a great display. I love the horizontal panoramic view to show all the buildings. The way the sky is laid in on top of it, the reflections in the water. I believe I know who the maker is and I know how we did it all, but this is a beautiful image. I really, really enjoyed this image. It's got lots of detail. It's in focus. It's lots of contrast. Very good image. Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack scored 22, second place.
It's beautiful. I think the whites really pop out in this image too. I think it's stunning.
Thank you.
Plat de jour.
So we love the picture with the strong leading line of the diagonal of the chain and the umbrella. You got action with the waiter and the participants. Having the front right lower corner, I guess that's a headlight, and the left side really didn't add anything to it, and it could have been just a little bit closer up to make for a stronger image.
I recommended to him to crop it and crop it vertical, putting in the words on the sign at the top, showing the guy looking towards the right, using that negative space is what he's looking at. Is the back behind the umbrella back. That's no reason for him to be there. I don't see, but it's a great image. Yeah.
So maker is Robert Moreno, score of 20, rescore of 21, third place.
Fisheye escalators.
This image is kind of very unique, and I like the scale. I like the lines. I'm assuming the color is because of the light coming through the skylight at the top, or it could be because of the incandescent lamps. I don't know, but it all works together. The lines leading to the top, the people showing you scale. It's a very high escalator. I'm assuming it might be somewhere in an airport or shopping mall or something. Probably not sure, but it's a very nice image, and it's got great detail, great lines, very sharp, top to bottom, and just very good image. Who's the maker?
Steve Manchester, score of 18, rescore 19. In and Out came in for honorable mention.
I wonder if this is in Chicago.
I know, it looks like one that I took in England, but I can't find it.
Well, the ones in England are much steeper. I don't know if this is.
Yeah, that's why I thought this was from England.
Yeah. Very nice.
The Tourists.
So this one was captivating. You have the tall columns that are crisp. You have a lot of contrast to make it extra sharp. You've got the 5 men sitting across, and it just gives you such a sense of place and a mood, and there is not anything I would change about it. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone, score of 23, first place.
Nice work.
Trish, where
Hey,
was
there's
it?
Robert.
This is the cathedral in Cologne.
Oh, okay.
What I like about this, for me, these guys, one guy looks like he's looking to the heavens while the other guy's on his phone. I just found that kind of humorous.
You got nice geometric shapes.
Yeah, thank you. That
Next
sounds like a
come
doorbell.
Robert. Oh,
Yay.
we got Robert. I'm not sure why we can't see him or,
He may not have his
Yeah.
video on yet.
let me see here. Yeah, he doesn't have his video yet. There he is.
Hello, everyone.
Yay!
Yay! Had to
I think you're
read-
muted.
You just didn't want to comment.
Yeah.
All right, what I miss?
But you're up.
I think we're just.
The whole pictorial category.
Am I up?
Not on this one. It's the next picture, but we're done with
okay.
this.
That's a fabulous image, Trish.
Thank you.
It is. It
Yes.
really is.
Monochrome. Canadian waterfalls.
Okay, this is me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I really like the image. I like the composition. The tonal range is fantastic, not too dark. You've got the right amount of whites with the rapids, and you've got the right detail in the rock formations. You've got just enough black to show the crevices, the stacking. The light is handled pretty well. The composition-wise, I like it. I don't know what would be off onto the right-hand side, or maybe a little bit more rapids, but the placement of these rock formations, I like. I like the little triangle, these rock formations create with the one in the foreground, right above it, and right one towards the top left. I mean, top right. It's handled pretty well. Who is the maker?
Jack Smith, score of 19.
I would like to see a little more contrast.
A little more?
Yeah. But that's just me.
Well, it might be able to handle some more. It doesn't.
I think it'd bring out the detail in the rocks, the trees in the background, and offset the whites of the rapids.
Hmm.
But
I'd have to see it, yeah.
I'd cut the fingers off at the right too.
The tree,
yeah.
the edge of the trees here on the right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a lovely image.
yes.
Very nice.
J. Fritziger Pavilion.
Donna, you want to do this one?
Sure.
Or I can, it doesn't matter. But
This is a great black and white with a lot of contrast in detail. You've got great arch and framing into the amphitheater where the stage is. The one thing I found distracting were the lights in the top left upper. I realized they're part of the image and part of the sense of place. They just drew my eye away from the overall curvature and leading lines going down to the amphitheater. Who's the maker?
Steve Manchester, score of 19.
I think you're right. I think if you crop the lights out, you make it more
Or
of
if he
a
moved-
16:9 type picture landscape, it would look better in.
Mhm.
or if he moved to the left, or if he moved to the right.
Well, then you're off center at the state, then you're off center, so it doesn't.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay. I
Surprise.
like this one. I like this one. I got lots of comments on this one. We talked about this one a lot last night. This is a great image. It really is. I mean, I love the lighting and how she's, the ridge lighting, and because of the window and the bright light coming through, she's got the highlights around the back edges, and it's just shows off everything. My only comment is that her face is too dark. And I think if you had a small reflector to hold off to the side just a little bit to give a little highlight to her, let's see, what would be her left side, I guess. And you've already got some highlights on her nose and one little spot on her cheek, but a reflector would have made that whole side a little brighter. And then you would almost get that silhouette that you were trying to achieve. Because you spoke about trying to achieve a silhouette. I think a small reflector would show the highlights, but it's a fantastic picture. I think it's one of your best, as a matter of fact. Who's the maker? No, I know who it is.
Myself, score of 20, went in and out, came in for honorable mention.
It's the whole thing is, that was our only comment. We talked about this a lot last night, was the lighting on her face.
And of course, that could easily be fixed up in post.
Yeah, it can, but I mean, with Lightroom, it's real easy to do, but they're using On1, and I can't remember how to do it in On1. I went today and I looked, but I no longer have it on my computer. So I wasn't able to go back and look and see how to go use, what tools you had to use to do that. And I mean, in Lightroom, it's very simple. You can do a little circle or highlight or transition on it and just adjust a little bit those highlights.
Right.
But it's a really great image. It's a good job, Danny.
Yeah, I like it. We used to call this the S curve. She's got the body for it. Now, I think it would just, I mean, dress style, these little ruffled off the shoulder thing, it really hides the S curve. I mean, I think it would be more of a power pose. I used to love shooting S curves when I had clientele work. Now that ruffle just it just covers that space between her arm and her waist to give you it's just a pow, it just, but I like the way it was handled, and I agree with the face. I would have loved it to be a little bit more lightened up a bit. Well done, though. I really like it.
Thank you.
Wyoming barn.
This is a great iconic shot of the barn. I like the perspective that it's not dead center and it's off to the side. I think with this one, either I would like to see a little bit more contrast, or the clouds in the background, the white is a little distracting and kind of creates an imbalance between the nice solid feel of the barn and the darkness of the barn. And it's almost like it's cut in half with a lot of the white above the barn and the mountains, and then the dark below. So if the clouds weren't just a little bit dimmer, I think it would be a lot more impactful. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone, score of 20, went in and out and came out.
Got great detail in that barn.
It's a really good shot. I love that sky.
Mission Espirito Santo.
Espiritu Santo. Okay.
Whatever. It ain't English.
Robert, your turn.
There it is. I finally got the image. Okay. Mission Espíritu Santo. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the perspective. You're leading down, and you're first off, let's go with the fact that it's monochrome. You've got beautiful blacks and beautiful whites, very complementary. Now, I love the leading lines of the pew. You just want to follow those pews up to the altar. The arches, you know, consecutive, you know, it just everything, the columns, these plaques that are on the wall, it just all leads you to the front of the altar. What is eye candy to me, the fact that you get detailed about this vessel where the holy water is contained, the ornate gate, all the little things, everything from the timber that's the truss right at the top. They all just laid you down, and it is handled very well for an indoor shot. Very nicely done. Maker?
Peter Florsack, scored 21, went in and out, came in first place.
Oh, I don't like this one after all. Never
Very
mind.
nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Well done,
Robert.
Peter. You're well done.
Congrats, Peter. It's a great image.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got a great mood going with the lights.
Mhm.
I actually put all that in.
All right. You did fabulous.
Thank you.
Is this me?
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
we've seen this mountain before. It's in Peru, but no, I think this is a great image at the top of the mountain. With I think the clouds kind of frame the section of the peak, and as it flows off to the side. Very well detailed, lots of color, lots of shades of gray and blacks and whites and a whole bit. My only concern was if they're trying to take a picture of the mountain, there's too many clouds. But I like how the clouds frame the mountain. I like the light on the top of the mountain coming through the clouds. So it's kind of a six of one, half a dozen of another. It's a great image because I like the way the framing and the way it's lined, the foreground and the middle ground's the clouds in the sky, and the mountain is the background. I just think the clouds are too much. Maybe crop a little bit off the left to take off that about 1 or 2 inches off that left side would be really nice. But it's a great image. Now, who's the maker?
Patrick Murray, score of 18.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was Patrick's.
Yeah, I like the sense of scale with the homes in the foreground.
Yeah.
It just tells me you're high up in the sky and you've got a big old gigantic mountain behind you. I too, I think the mountain, I don't know, maybe to me, mountain's a little soft, but I love the sense of scale.
Okay, I need glasses for that one.
sorry. Children or kids that play.
This is a fun, iconic photojournalism kind of image with the children playing. You know exactly what they're doing. You can tell that it's hot, that they're playing with the water. You've got detail that you can see the kids even behind the splashes. My thought, for me personally, the water in the middle lower right front area, that's a little white with lots of detail. So it just kind of detracts that whole leading line up to the back. It's just a little bit loss of detail, but otherwise it's a great capture of kids having fun in the water. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno, score of 21, third place.
I think you did a great job. I mean, yes, it does, because the water does kind of lead off to run, and it is soft because it's pretty fast, but it's because of the way that it's showing. I love the kids playing in the water and the fact that you capture drops in the sky. And even though they're not quite sharp, they're individual. So that means he had the right speed. You've got the right depth of people from in the front, sharp, people in the back, blurry. And it is just, I think it's a great shot. And it is a photojournalism shot. Well done, Robert.
Thank you. This was part of the photo walk for the Kelby walk for this year. So you know, you guys know I like to shoot people, and it was like the buffet out there, man. You have lots of people out there.
I shot this fountain at night
Oh yeah.
on a tripod, and it's not easy to do. The kids love it though at nighttime because it lights up.
I had fun. I really did.
King Leo.
This is me, I think.
Yeah, it's you.
King Leo, an unusual cropping, the way the face is to the side. I didn't think I'd like it, but to be honest with you, I do like it. It's something different. You've got all the detail that you need to know right off the bat. Hey, it's a lion. B, it's close up. And I love the way, hey, you don't have to go by the rules. You walk the beat of your own drum and cropped it this way. In this instance, it works great. And tonal range on this image is fantastic. Maker.
John Kane, score of 24, went in and out, came out second place.
Well done, well handled.
Thanks.
Really terrific.
That's probably one of my most favorite images of a lion from the zoo that I have cropped and colored and changed so many times. It is probably my #1 seller.
Wow.
So I just happened to crop it this way because I thought it looked cool. Because to me, the eyes, this is one of those images that if you move to the side, he's still looking at you. If you move to the other side, he is still looking at you. And I've only seen that happen in paintings from the early like Rembrandts and stuff like that they would have where you could stand in front of it. And it's a trick that the painters do to do that. And I've never had that happen before. And I didn't realize it till after I cropped it in close like this, that lion is still staring at you no matter where you are. It's kind of cool. But anyway, that's my opinion.
Thank you. Yeah, very nicely done.
But damn it,
John?
yeah.
For a creative shot, you could Photoshop in a tongue.
Yeah.
I was thinking
True.
give him a blue mohawk.
Oh, that's next time. I'll work on that next time.
Tammy or Ken, can you show me which one won the first place one?
I think that was the church building,
That was
right?
Peter's
Yeah.
church.
Yeah, the mission is.
Okay,
is
okay,
Spiritu
gotcha.
Santo.
Mission
Yes,
Spiritu,
that
that
one.
one.
Thank you.
Where was this at again? The mission?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mission
it's
Spiritu.
It's not,
That's,
it's not,
that's
the one- it's not here in town.
It's,
San Jose.
no, it's
No.
in Goliad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not
That's
here
in
town.
Goliad. Oh yeah, it is. That is
It's
yeah.
Spiritu
That's the
Santo.
Spiritu Santo in Goliad. You're right. Never mind. It's almost like the one out in San
Somewhere.
Juan de Capistrano or whatever the heck it is.
Right. It's a great image of a lion,
Mhm.
Jim.
Nature. Bear tracks.
Is this me?
Oh, this is me. I don't know. Go ahead.
No,
I'm
go ahead,
busy-
John. No,
I'm
go
busy
ahead.
answering the question. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I like this image because it's if it didn't say bear tracks, I wouldn't know it's bear tracks without having to zoom in and look at the claws. But I know that it's a very big animal of some sort. And because bears and there's one other animal that have it, but has all 5 toes like right in a line like this. They're not curved. It's kind of straight. So the only thing I liked, the thing I didn't like about this picture was that I would have liked to see this bottom one image of because there's no claws there. I would take that one out and only show the top 5. That was my only thing I saw about this that I would have changed. But it's a great image. I love the fact that it lines up and you can see that what happens is the legs, feet start getting closer and closer together. I don't know if that has to do with depth or if it's slowing down and it's getting closer to something that it wants to grab a hold of. And it has a limp because it's 1 foot's crooked. I don't know. Who's the maker?
Jack Smith scores 17.
Yeah, I know it's Jack. I love it, Jack. It's kind of a unique, usually you have pictures of bears. I think this is the first time you've shown bear tracks. And I think it's just kind of cool because it's like the one bear track in the middle is at a different angle. So does it have a limp on its right front leg, or is it crooked or something? Because you see the left rear, right rear, then you got right front, left front, and then you got, and it's like, that's a weird angle. So anyway, that's just.
I just think there's a lot of possibilities there. I don't know if it's 2 different bear tracks. I don't know if it's one bear just sort of crossing over, if it's leading toward, slowing down towards some water or something, or.
Yeah, I thought it was slowing down towards something because of the spacing of the tracks. And
Yeah.
it's just.
And it is depth of field that's causing you to wonder more about it.
Yeah,
I like the prominent one in the bottom half, which is why I have it, because it's so well lit and it's the full imprint of the padded
paw, yeah.
foot. Yeah.
It almost looks like it's raised, that first print.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks 3D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It
I
doesn't,
can-
in fact, if you look at the one that's crooked, you see the indentation, which is where more pressure was put on that foot as he walked. And that's why I thought maybe he had a limp or something, because this one in the back pops out. You don't have any deep impressions showing weight, but it looks like they get deeper as it walks. That could be just the way the light shines on it, or the perspective, who knows? But it's a cool image that you can see a lot of things in.
Well, it's a pretty dried up area there, as you can tell in the foreground. But I can tell you, I got my boots stuck in the muck going through an area close to this area and fell over, and my lens and my other camera body and everything was covered in mud when I finally got up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was quite a mucky area, especially when you're carrying a big tripod and a big lens, and then you got another big heavy camera body on your belt. But I thought it was pretty cool to actually see that.
Have you ever got stuck in the mud in Alaska? Specifically along the rivers or lakes or anything that's been wet or soaked, because it's almost like quicksand.
Yeah,
And you step in it and you can sink down to your knees in a heartbeat, and you're trying to get your leg out. You usually lose your foot, your shoe, maybe your sock.
I probably would not have fallen over had I not had all that camera equipment. I would have been more balanced, but because of the weighted on my right side, it just trying to lift that boot, and it didn't want to come up. I just tipped over.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a pretty interesting shot.
Thank you.
Jack, you just went up on my badass scale, man. All right, Jack.
Wait till you see the bear shot of me. It looks like I'm standing right next to him.
All right.
but I'm not.
Okay.
Telluride.
Is this me?
Yes.
I think so.
This has, for a landscape, this has a great foreground, midground, and background, just what you want to see in a landscape picture. It's got the flowers in the front with the valley and the mountains. It's iconic. It has great details. It has good color with the greens and the golds and the mountains. Y'all are gonna think that this is the only thing I can say in my constructive is that the white areas of the clouds, just that whole whiteness in the upper top just really kind of takes my eye away with it being so white and gray and just a little bit lack of detail. But from the mountains down, it is just a fabulous shot. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno score of 18.
I thought about replacing the sky, but I don't think we're allowed in nature. But
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
this was fun because I'm like, imagine me up on top of this mountain. I was breathless. I'm sorry. I'm hiking around and I'm like sucking air like there's none left in the world, you know? But it made a great vista.
It's gorgeous.
Oh,
I
and
mean, what
this-
you could have done, Robert, is I know you don't know Lightroom, but you could have gone in Lightroom and did a sky selection and then adjusted the
Is that
lighting
allowed?
of the sky and darkened it just a little.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's where my lack of Photoshop skills kick in. But it was a beautiful area. That's the first time I've been to Telluride.
Well, you
I
know,
just-
I have a brand new bottle of scotch.
Okay,
We may have to start
Oh, yeah.
have another in-house
There
Photoshop
you
lesson.
There you go.
So Robert, were you in a four-wheel Jeep or something to get up this high, or how'd you do that?
No, I took the what is it, the sky ride or the
Yeah.
tram going up.
Oh,
Tram, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I could say I hiked it, but you guys know I wouldn't be able to do that one. But even up there, I mean, there was still a ways to get to this vista, and I was there with friends, and they didn't want to go up there, and I'm like, well, forget y'all, man. I'll see y'all later. So I walked. Even walking up in that little town in that climate, I was like, oh man, I'm sucking air. I mean, it is pretty high. So, but you know, I like doing it, and if I do it slower than others, I don't care. I had a great time.
Yeah, Telluride is one of those cool places that it actually still keeps their trams running, even though there's no snow on the ground for skiing.
Yeah,
So
there was
you can
very
actually
little
go
snow.
up to the top of the mountain where the skiers go and take
Yeah.
pictures of these. That's what I did when I was in New Zealand, and it was cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. I loved it. I loved it all.
Thanks for being there, Robert.
Absolutely, man.
That's one of my next stops now.
All right. Yeah, the town is fantastic. The shops. I don't do a lot of shopping, but the restaurants and the beer, fantastic. Donna, the wine.
Hey.
Oh yeah, they got a lot
I
of
do
wineries
like,
around there.
I do like food with my wine.
That's right. There you go. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Flying Gulf sea slug.
I can talk about this, but somebody else is gonna have to. So. I'll
That'd
tell
be
you,
Robert.
All right.
I'll tell you the story
All
once
right.
you get done.
All right. The slug, AKA the loogie. It took me a second, but I really like this image. What throws me off is the water, you know, looking through the water. It's like, I'm like, this is blurry, but no, it looks like that because of the water motion, and you're looking at the sand and the granules. This is pretty much almost centered. I don't have an issue with it because you've got a little bit more space over to the left. So it gives you a sense of, like, say it's moving direction. I'm not familiar with this particular slug, but I am assuming besides the bulkiness at the center, the rest is his body. If it is, that's what it is. But I like the fact that you were able to capture this. And to me, it doesn't detract from the fact that, you know, you've got waves. Just the fact that, again, it's to me, it's motion, and it gives me a sense of place here in the water. Who's the maker?
John Kane, score of 18.
This is a sea slug. And I have only seen them laying on the beach. And usually they look like, I'm sorry, but they look like somebody just took a dump on the beach. And I mean, they are just downright ugly. They're slimy, they're all that. But then I saw them fly. And if you haven't ever seen a slug fly, this is what they look like. They
Okay.
open up, and these are like wings, and that's how they move. Now, when the space off to the left is because that is actually the head. That's the direction he's going.
Wait.
These things are kind of cool, is that the head comes off, can come off, and it'll grow a new head.
Oh, wow. So
be-
the left side
like
is where the head's at?
yeah, where the head's at, that's that little thing that's
Okay.
sticking out right there in the front.
Okay.
He is eating on the bottom right there. This water's like, oh, maybe 2 inches deep. And we were out fishing, and they took us to, this is in South Padre. They took us down on a boat ride, and they took us to this little island and to collect shells. The kids wanted to collect shells, so they were floating on the water. There were thousands of them.
Oh, wow.
And when we went fishing the next day, they were all over the place. They had said, the guys said that they had never seen so many in one spot ever. And they have no idea why. Because normally they're on the bottom of the water. They were on the top of the water. And they fly, they're really cool. I mean, the way they fly, it's, you can see the curl in the front, and that curl kind of goes all the way to the back, and then it starts over again. New curl in the front, goes all the way to the back, pulls him forward. And we got to hold one, and I have a picture of it somewhere. And they look like, they feel like a sponge, and they're slimy, but
Never
harmless.
seen one. I've never seen one. I love it.
I've never seen one either, and I've never seen so many of them, because this is the first time I've ever seen one open. I've only seen them as the
Wow.
the body, when it folds over and it closes up in the sun, it just looks like a turd on a beach. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. Anyway, that was my nature shot. That's why I had to add that, just for the heck of it.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Vicuñas.
Okay.
Vicuñas. Yes, these are vicuñas. This is I don't know. I've been getting all his pictures tonight. This is kind of cool. I don't know if anybody is familiar with vicuñas. They're kind of related to alpacas and llamas, but these are South American. And I like the picture. I like it. I like the one that's looking at me. The others are being lit, and the one on the ground with the light shining on it, it's like being highlighted. They get the water in the front, so they're eating the grass along the edge of the lake or whatever this is, maybe a river. As it goes below the mountain, they're generally higher up. Probably came down to eat some of the new grass and drink the water. But my only comment about this picture is I really liked the 4 in the middle and maybe the 2 on the right. My eye kind of drifts off to those and goes off to the ones on the left or the ones on the right, and you don't really look at the ones in the middle. I would have taken one of those 2 off. Maybe take the ones off on the left and just crop in and have the 4 in here in 1/3 quadrant, the other 2 in another 1/3 quadrant. Okay, and maybe not so much at the top, show the water, and then crop it down just a little. That's the only comment.
A question to the group. Would this have been better if these vicunas
Acunas.
were more a little further up in the shot and we had more water for foreground instead of the top? Or just less background?
Personally, I would have take some of the top off so that the top part is equal to the water size.
Okay,
Okay, so you have like a 1/3 strip at the top of the rise, 1/3 strip in the middle of the animals, and 1/3 strip at the bottom of the water.
yeah,
And then the only way to achieve that is to crop one of the sides off and lower the top. That's my opinion.
I appreciate this photo because I think I know who made it and the altitude they're in, you know? All right, that's all I had to say, sorry.
Robert, I would prefer to crop and have less water there myself. But I kind of agree with John that if you cropped it where these guys to our left were missing, that would highlight where we really want to go with the one looking at us. And it would bring that one forward as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
less is more.
I
Agreed.
mean, realistically, I mean, they do look a little soft. Okay,
Yes.
but the one looking at you looks fairly sharp, but I have to zoom in to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back last night, no, not last night, actually this morning, and pulled up some of the images, and this was one of them. And I zoomed in on it and I recropped it just to see what it would be like. And that's when I realized it is a little soft. But other than that, I think it just needs to be a little recropping would make it a better picture.
It's a hell of a shot in itself. I mean, I'm assuming these are wild animals where they're at. So wildlife is definitely not my forte. I don't have the lens for it, and I'm sure, Jack, I wouldn't get near the grizzlies as close as you are. You know, I don't run as fast as you, and I look like a Big Mac compared to you. You're a nugget.
Robert, you're like me. We don't do good at heights
No,
and then low oxygen level area. Okay.
I'd be like, time out. Can we take a time out here?
I don't, it's kind of, I mean, I would like to go to South America to see some of this stuff. And I know I've seen a lot of videos of people that have gone down there and gone into certain areas up in the mountains and just photographed, and it's fantastic. The animals alone.
Guys, I do think we need to be a little more focused over here. Otherwise, we're going to run till 10 o'clock.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I figure we're going to run 10 o'clock anyway.
So
Go
the,
ahead.
ma-
We're done.
the maker of that one was Patrick Murray, score of 18.
Thank you.
I know.
This one,
Thoughtful goose.
this one intrigued me. I love the detail with the eye and whatever you call that, that around the beak and the eye area. My thing was like, okay, is this over processed or is this like kind of like luminescence of the plumage, you know? I wasn't sure. Now, the fact that it's cropped in this manner shows a more creativity because it could have been a wider shot, but it's more detailed this way. But because I thought this was more luminescence of the plumage, I scored it well. I liked the impact it gives. I like the close-up factor, and I love the composition because it's almost separated. It looks like a square format, and it kind of, at the eye level, you get that diagonal line. Could it have been handled better? Maybe it's a little over processed. Maybe, again, I don't know if it's Zoom doing this or not, but I do like it. Who is the maker?
Peter Florsack scored 22, went in and out, came in first place.
Nice job, Peter.
Is this luminous, very luminous plumage or not?
Well, no, he's, if you're asking, is it another color besides white?
Yeah.
No, it's really just white. It's just catching the reflection over whatever else is around.
Okay, okay.
I just let him in.
You
It
just leave it
reminds,
in?
it reminds me of one of your past images. I really liked it. I think it was a flamingo you did. It had a similar pose where its beak or whatever was within its plumage.
Yep, I have one that's very similar with a, I forget the name of the bird, but it's a,
Oh, kudos for the detail around I call it a face. I don't know what it's technically called.
right.
Very well.
Thank you, Robert.
Yes, sir. I'm done.
Up in the meadow.
This is
My
a fabulous,
turn?
oh, go ahead, John.
Oh, I didn't know if it was your turn or my turn. I don't.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh,
Your
I
turn
like
now.
this image. I like the way the lighting is. I like the orientation. This is looks like a young elk. It's still got velvet on his horns.
Yeah.
So, or maybe it's just early in the season. It's still got velvet on his horn, but it's a sharp. I like the depth showing the trees in the background. I like the angle looking off to the side. The eye looks very sharp. I like the orientation. I like how it's laid out. I like the composition. That's just a very good image. Who's the maker?
Trish Stone, score of 20, third place.
Good job, Trish.
Well done.
Thank you.
Where'd you take that, Trish?
That's at Yellowstone.
At Yellowstone, okay.
Yeah,
It's a great image.
thank you. Can I just say real quickly? Robert and I spent some time together today. And one thing we talked about was how, different things that people like to shoot and what they're really good at. And I told him, I said, I really enjoy shooting wildlife, but I've discovered it's not what I do best. It's not easy to do a great wildlife shot. It's not. You have to have the right gear and you have to have the right approach. And so I just want to say I have kudos to those who do a great job with wildlife because it's not easy.
You have to be in the right location.
Oh yeah, you got to have the right equipment and you got to know what you're doing. I mean, there's just a whole number of things.
And you're right, you have to have the right equipment. This is a really tough, I have pretty crappy equipment for shooting wildlife at distances, and I'm always disappointed in my images.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Petrified leaf.
This is a great image with the strong diagonal lines that give it great energy. You can see the depth with the shading, and then you've got that leaf that is just tucked in. This has great eye movement throughout, and then you go back to the leaf and you go, oh, there's a leaf, and then you get drawn around to the different structures. It has great lighting. It has great perspective, and I just think this is a well-rounded, well-photographed and processed image. Who's the maker?
Myself, score of 19, honorable mention.
Nice job, Tammy.
I think it's beautiful, Tammy.
Thank you.
Usually I would say this is like busy, but no, it's not. It's there. You see it. You spot it right away. Okay, I'm done. Love it.
Yellow crown night heron.
Yellow crown night heron. Definitely, it looks like a night shot or a very late shot with the darkness in the background. I love the fact that the light is hitting him right at his head. I would have loved the light to illuminate his beak a little bit more, but it is what it is with the lighting. It looks very sharp. It's a static pose, but the fact that you got it or got him or her, amazing. I've been chasing a blue heron up at Brack forever, and I still can't get him. Very well handled, and it, like I said, looks like difficult lighting, like perhaps even the lights coming up or going down. Well handled. Who is the maker?
Steve Manchester, score of 22, went in and out and came in second place.
Steve, was this in the evening? Congratulations, second place.
Yeah, nice
Thank you.
job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, Steve's here. I didn't even
Yeah,
hear you
yeah.
come in.
Yeah,
I'm in the middle,
Steve
well,
was
no, I
He's
just
here.
here,
told you
he's
that.
here.
You didn't
Snuck
listen?
right in. There you go, Steve.
Was this morning or evening, Steve?
Good evening.
Wow.
It's a
Yeah.
great shot.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I've seen Steve shoot. He is a monster and a bionic man with that huge full frame and huge lens. I'm like, my arm gets tired carrying that stuff around. But I look at him and I'm like, how the hell does he do it?
Well, this bird was just in the right place. It was just perfect. It kind of flew up on this. You see that kind of orange color. It's a man-made structure there, kind of a little oh, I don't know what to call it. Anyway, just kind of flew up there, and the background was dark. The lighting was from the left, and I thought, wow, what a nice the bird is posing for me. I mean, look at that.
And I said, hey, Steve, look at me. Nicely handled, sir.
Thank you.
Travel. Fishing in the fog.
Okay, this
Am
one is, my fellow judges and I disagreed on this image last night, but I really like the image. I like the guy, and I like the tree, and then the man over here on the right-hand side fishing on the lake. I love the fog, really makes it pop. My only concern with the image is there's too much on the left side. I know it's a long, I don't know, 16:9 or something like that. The way it's cropped, I would have liked to have seen a little bit less top, a little bit less, maybe crop it over to about this first tree that you have on this one side right here. And just show that image, and then have the foreground of the water, then him, and then the foggy background. But it's a great image. I mean, it's very, very well done. It's just, I just didn't like the crop on it, and it's just way too much
Make it
stuff,
square.
space on the left-hand side. That was my only comment.
If you, when you look at it, if it's squared, I think you have a much stronger image.
No, I don't think, no, square would be,
Well,
I
it's
think it needs
almost
to be, it
square.
needs to be a rectangular instead of oblong.
If you cut to that tree at the end of where his rod is, that one tree in the fog,
Mhm.
if you go right to the right of it and crop
It'd be
there,
square if you went to the right of it.
It's
Don't go to
almost
the right of it.
square.
I want to go past that tree, but not any further than that tree.
I like this. It's almost a minimalistic photo, in my opinion.
It is.
I like his reflection. I like the fact that he's over here in the 1/3 area, and the rest either fog or, I mean, his line, this is me, his line is cast out way beyond the image. I mean, so I like it. It gives me a sense of scale. Now, the only issue I have, and this is depending on who received this image to display it, I see banding in the fog or in the mist or
Mhm,
whatever.
me too.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
over processing banding, or is it just the fact that we're on Zoom and it just distorts it a tad?
I think it's just because of
JPEG
the
compression.
banding in the background of the tree line. That's what I saw. I see a little bit of banding, not a lot, but it's not a straight band.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
see a lot of horizontal lines, actually.
not
Yeah.
a horizontal line.
I do.
yeah, me too.
That's what I'm asking. Whoever received the entry, do you see this on your computer?
Nope,
Yes.
Yes, I
I
see.
don't. And I'm the one who's displaying it.
Okay. See, so that just elevates it for me. I mean, it's
Oh.
simplistic. You have a man fishing with his reflection and his bag hanging off the side. And the most important thing, y'all know I love a hat. He's got a hat on. That's it. That's all I got.
Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack scored 22, went in and out, scored out, came in second place.
Thank you.
Nice, nice.
Nice
I love
job,
it, Peter. Great.
Nice,
Well, thank
Peter.
you.
Peter,
No, it's a great image. I just,
Peter, question,
Yes.
on your computer, do you have banding or not?
I
Probably
do
not.
see I do see banding. I'm
No, no,
not
no.
sure whether I reduced the image. It's probably a big crop from an older camera I have. And
Okay,
then
okay.
reducing it to the 2 megabytes to send in probably gave it banding.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, so I'm not really, I see the banding, but I just think that's part of the landscaping. Okay, that's what I'm saying in my head. I'm seeing a line on the right side that changes colors, although now I'm not seeing it, so I don't know what happened.
Well, it's
Well, I
changing.
just
It's the
enlarged
wine,
it.
Donna.
It's
Not
the
really.
wine,
The
it's
image.
the wine. It went away. But
I enlarged the image on my monitor to the full 26 inches, and I can now see the banding.
Okay.
That's kind of weird that one. And I would just say, I like the minimalist. I like the panoramic per se with a lot of empty space. I think it enhances the mood of the isolation and the single fisherman. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And your
I wanted the
muted
guy to
colors
look
work.
very little. I wanted him to be small in the image, and cropping it any tinier would have made him too big. That was what I was going for anyway.
Yeah, you went for the solitude, and I think
Mhm.
that for me, it worked.
Cool. What did it score again? I'm sorry.
22,
Very nice.
second place.
Wow, okay, nice. Who's up?
Is this me?
Okay,
Inside Passage Cruise Liner.
This is a great iconic Alaska. I'm going to assume Alaska. It has the eagle. It's a great photojournalist shot. It's got great yellows and greens, and the color saturations look very true. You can tell the perspective that it's a huge, huge boat by having the people in front. I bet everybody's going to know what I'm going to say about the sky.
yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
no.
all I'm gonna say about the sky, is y'all know what I'm gonna say about the sky. So who's the maker?
Jack Smith, score of 18.
What's really weird about this picture is I have been on this boat, and you say it's a big, big boat. No, this is the smallest boat in the fleet. Okay, and it goes to the inside passage. And I did 7 days on this boat going from Anchorage to Vancouver. And ever since I've been on this boat, I have only gone, Royal Caribbean is now my main cruise line. I don't go with anybody else. I had such a great time with this boat. But anyway, has nothing to do with the picture. I just like the picture because Radiance of the Seas is my favorite boat of the cruise line. So. Next.
Prismatic pool landscape.
Okay, this is one of my faves, the prismatic pool landscape. I love the low angle this was shot at. These, to me, they look, I'm just gonna call them, they look like little tributaries on a map. They just lead your eye into the image where you come upon the different colors. I think I know where this is at, and you see the steam coming up. And of course you have your landscape and your blue, which accentuates the colors. It's very complementary to the brownish off yellow orange colors. They work nicely, but the fact that this is shot at a low angle really draws my eye in. Who is the maker?
Trish Stone, scored 22, went in and out, came in first place.
Way to go,
Nice.
Trish.
Well done, Trish.
Yeah.
What I like about this shot is it's not the typical iconic shot and that you normally see. I like the low angle sewing through here so you don't really see the prismatic colors except for the different colors of the gold. But I want to go there just so I can see this place, see this.
And
Yeah,
It's
but
very
the typical
sharp, too.
iconic shot is an overhead view of it, so it's kind of interesting.
Very sharp, foreground to background, all in focus.
All of it.
You know what's funny about this pool, that iconic shot, you can only get it for like a couple hours a day. Because in the
Yeah.
morning, the air is cool, so the steam is just everywhere. You can hardly see the pool, really, if you're at eye level. I mean, all you see is steam. This is about 1 in the afternoon, which is about as low as the steam gets. But the hill that's behind there, you can climb up there. And if you get up there at noontime and you look down, that's when you get all those iconic shots of the
Colors,
pool that are just, absolutely stunning. It was just, we had things to do at noon, and it was hotter than Hades at noon anyway. And I actually preferred it at this hour. I thought it was much more interesting from this angle.
Most definitely. I like it. The only thing that would give it a lift up would have been a little bit of cloud cover, but that's.
Me too. I
Yeah.
tried to make that happen. I couldn't.
Well done, Trish.
You got to do a rain dance, Trish.
And you know what this doesn't capture too? You get a little bit of that blue color in the steam. You see that reflecting off the pool?
Yes.
It really reflects, the steam reflects the colors in the pool beautifully. I mean, to the naked eye, it's absolutely breathtaking because the steam reflects the colors in the water. It's really beautiful.
Very nice.
Carnival parade.
Okay, people photography, my favorite. Okay, okay. Aside from the fact that he told us what it was as far as carnival parade, it would be hard pressed for me to realize it was a carnival because I see it now that I read the title. Because you have some kind of a honorary queen or something in the background, but she is blurred out on top of a vehicle. Just the fact that you immerse yourself into the crowd like this, you really have to study this image to realize what they're shooting, what those cans are, and the fact that, hey, they're on the street and there's a beauty queen, so to speak, in the background. It doesn't have the punch and impact that I would like in a scene like this, but at this point, you get what you get. So it is well handled, tells you a sense of place by the flag where you're at. It tells you a sense of place by the indigenous people. And quite frankly, if you look at the photo, I mean, the buildings, I mean, it really speaks to me. So in that sense, I really like this image with the colors and the people. Maker, please.
Patrick Murray's score of 19.
What they're shooting out of the cans
Whipped cream.
is whipped cream.
Exactly, whipped cream. I was just going to say, he gets points for me for.
They
walking there with
they do this a lot
camera
in
with
Europe
whipped
as
cream
well.
Yeah. Now, like me being the guy I am, I'd be like trying to get smack in the middle of the street, taking the photos for as long as I can as traffic is coming towards me. Done that before. I've been told in not so nice words to get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, because it is very messy, and don't take your camera in the middle of it unless you have a raincoat. I've gone to 2 of these, and I actually have a thing that's like a plastic bag that fits over my entire camera, except for the front lens, and it keeps the camera and the lens safe. Though you have to keep wiping off the front element, but it is fun. I mean, it really is. It's kind of like going to one of those smoke grenade color things, the color where they throw the paint in the air.
Yeah.
It is. It's kind of like that.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I know this is Patrick, but this was Ecuador he's in, correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to be up there, but I think I'd need a few days to get acclimated to the altitude,
Yeah.
It's also very cold there, I hear.
I don't care. I would try and blend in as dark skinned as I am. I think I would try and blend in nicely and take some seriously people photography up there.
I just wondered, you said they talked about the lady on top of the car in the background. It's not I think it's a painting on a wall.
It
Really?
is.
Oh, like a mural?
It looks like.
I think it's a mural.
Oh, well, I thought it was. a
Back here by the blue dot.
Yeah, yeah, because of
That's
the
a balloon, I
balloon, I
think.
would assume that's a balloon.
Who
Wow.
knows?
I would assume that she was alive.
Catherine's not here to tell us, so,
Yeah,
We're gonna have to ask him eventually.
Yes.
yeah.
I like my story and I'm sticking to it. No, but I love getting the cultural photographs of people immersed in their culture, whatever it may be. You know, I live for people photography. It's my forte, I think. Okay.
Oh, I can't read my computer.
Um,
Firehole River Geyser.
Okay, this is, it's kind of, I've never heard of this place, but unless it's in Alaska, I don't know, maybe, who knows? But the fact that because geyser, you think of water, but this is steam coming off the geyser, so that means it's near a volcano somewhere, I'm assuming, but it's also, I can't tell if that's a river running by there or if that's water going by there. I just think it's kind of a neat image. I love the background. I know, it's kind of, somebody else probably won't, not gonna like the sky, but I like the sky of this. And I like how the depth of the grays in the mountains go to the background, fold to the back. I like the foreground. I don't know about this thing right here, the purplish color right here on the side, maybe a little bit less of that. But it's a very interesting image because I'm trying to figure out, what to see, because normally a geyser, when you think of a geyser, you think of water, not steam. And it's just kind of interesting. One, I want to know, where is this place and who's the maker?
Rowdy Stone score 17.
That's in
All right.
Yellowstone. That's in Yellowstone also.
Is it Yellowstone also? Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't think about Rowdy was with you when you went to Yellowstone.
I see what
He's my favorite accessory, John.
I love the flow he's got going from that left corner of the photo, and your eye just leads you to the geyser, and the
Yeah.
fact that it's at that 1/3 spot, and the smoke, your eye just flows to it, and it's well composed. I really like it. The sky, hey, you get what you get when you have this kind of steam and somewhat of a cloud cover like this. I think it works perfectly. I love it.
I didn't even think about Yellowstone. That's what threw me off, I guess. Okay. Because I remember somebody asking me, oh, was it Kim? Kim was asking me, does Rowdy pay his dues? I said, yeah. Because he had an
Yeah,
image.
because I paid, yeah.
I said, yeah, because
For both of
Trish
us,
pays
yeah.
for the family thing. So yeah, he pays his dues. Yeah. Cool.
It's well handled. I love it.
Yeah, I've got to go to Yellowstone. I've got to.
Cannon Beach.
Donna?
Donna.
Donna.
Never mind. Okay. So this is the iconic haystack rock at Cannon Beach. You cannot take a bad photograph of this rock and this image, which is also displayed with this image. I have seen it and been there when it was so foggy where you couldn't see the rock at all, which is another story. Anyway, I love the sky. I like the clouds that just wrap itself around the rock. I think that with the mist, the tide going out, it is fabulous. I do think that the foreground is a little dominant, that with a little less of the green in the front might have made it a little more dramatic and not had the horizon just dead center and been a little bit stronger. But otherwise, the greens and the blues and the colors are just awesome. Who's the maker?
Robert Moreno score of 20.
Nice image.
And where is Cannon Beach?
Oregon.
Yeah, that's in Oregon. By the way, Donna, you mentioned that it's impossible to get a bad picture here. And my husband and I started giggling because we were in Oregon about 6 or 7 years ago, and I have a whole bunch of really bad pictures of Cannon Beach. So
But were you there? Well, that's
What's really,
true.
really strange is I have driven the entire coast of Oregon, and I don't ever remember seeing this. This looks almost like Morro Bay, but
Yes, it does.
it's not Morro Bay because
It's about an hour south of Astoria. It's an hour and a half west of Portland. Were you there when the starfish were there?
No,
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly. It was close to the fall, but no, there weren't any starfish on the beach. Now,
No, they weren't on the beach. They were around the rock. So I was
okay.
there in 07 and they had purple and orange and red
Yeah.
starfish that when the water went out, you could see. I was there a couple of years ago and all the starfish have gone away.
Oh,
Yeah,
I saw some of the starfish down around Gold Beach.
yeah. I was
in the
out
rocks
here.
in Gold Beach, but it's kind of strange. I never figured that to
Yeah.
look for the starfish along the edges.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was out here, and at the time my girlfriend was like ridiculously sick with the flu, and we had checked into a seaside resort, and I kind of promised her like, okay, I'll put my camera away and take care of you. So while she napped and was medicated, I snuck out with my camera to go out and take some pictures, and this sea mist is incredible. I mean, I love the mist, and I had a blast out there, and I made sure to get back prior to her waking up. So
I was gonna say, hence the reason ex-girlfriend.
yeah, pretty much. But we're still really good friends, okay? So
Talks about all these women, but I have yet to meet one.
I'm not married, John. Quiet, this is being recorded.
Oh, I know.
it's that leather purse you carry, Robert.
I know how to erase sections. So
Gotcha. This is a beautiful area. I love the area. It's amazing. It's amazing. It is so far away from what we have in the area, even in Texas coast. It's just mesmerizing. I love it.
nice.
Right.
Very nice.
Wells Street Bridge.
Okay. Well, Street Bridge. I think we talked about this one last night too. This image, I like the contrast and the lines. I'm not there was something about it that really threw me off, but I'm not sure exactly why. This has got to be, I'm going to say in Chicago, because that's the L going across the bridge. I don't remember the name of the street, but I remember the bridge. But the buildings in the background, so you've got these really unique angles. You've got the verticals of the building in the background. You've got the horizontal stripes going to the left. And then all of a sudden you have this bridge going across at the left. So it's like a confluence of different angles, and it's kind of leads your eye from one side to the other. And I don't know which side you want to look at. And I can't really tell you, something struck me about this picture that I didn't like. But the more I look at it, I can't remember what it was. And it's a very neat picture of that bridge. I even like the fact that you can see pretty much on the inside, you can see the lights in there on the inside, and you can see the cars going by on the inside. So like there's a semi truck up here on the top left. Okay, or on the left-hand side. So you can see another truck back in the middle back in there. But it's kind of a very unique, and you've got lots of depth, you've got lots of textures, you've got lots of, I'm going to say color, but it's black and white and grays. It's very neat. So I changed my mind for some reason, and I don't remember why I didn't like it, but now the more I look at it, the more I like it. So who's the maker?
Steve Manchester scored 21, went in and out, came in third place.
Up, Steve. I think the only
Yeah,
recommendation I would make is you got that hot spot on the building there.
Yes, yeah, the hot spot there, yeah.
I
Yeah, that
love
might
the
have been it. That
geometric
might have
stuff.
been it, was the hot spot on the side, but
Yeah, I
it
think
doesn't draw your eye. And I think that the bridge itself draws your eye away from the hot spot.
Yeah, I tried to
So
calm that
maybe it
down
was the
as much
hot
as I
spot,
could.
the dark building on the right, the hot spot in the middle, and then the next section, and then everything goes. I just really looked at those.
I lost picture. Did anybody else lose the picture?
Yeah,
Yes,
I did, I got the whole. yeah, I
working
got
on it.
Okay. I like the detail. You've got the where the rail is at, the grading. I don't know if is that what you call it. It's so
yeah,
ornate.
the ironwork.
The rivets, I mean,
Mhm.
everything is tack sharp. I love it to the point that I scored it pretty high. Now, yes, the hot spot's there, but it is 5% of the image, and the rest of it just with the shadows, the detail, it was amazing, and the contrast in the image, I really enjoyed it. And yes, I am biased to monochrome images, but it spoke to me enough to score
You're
it
just
high.
biased because it wasn't yours.
I am. Steve, that is my photo. It should have been
It's a
mine.
very good picture, Steve. Very
Yeah,
good.
thank you, John. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that was taken in the morning, walking along the Chicago River. Yeah, looking. So that's the merchandise mart in the background there.
Oh, merchandise mart. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Anyway,
first
I know where
look,
it is now.
yeah, first look, it's like, I think, oh, it's busy. Well, no, it's not. It's layered. I believe that's the subway or whatever, the train you call it on top.
yeah,
You
the
got the
L train.
bridge, you got the building, and it's layered nicely enough to, I don't lose myself in it. I just, okay, did I say lose? Okay. I don't lose myself in it. It's well handled. I love it.
It's
and I went with
like
the-
Trish said, if you can go just about any place, go into the picture. And
Yes.
it leads
Yeah.
you around.
Yes.
Mhm.
You can go down to the bottom right here,
I agree.
come over. to
Yeah,
the top
and I
back
think maybe
down.
that's, it's what Trish said is that the thing that really struck me with in the very beginning would have got a higher score, but was the hot spot. And I was trying to figure out how could I take that hot spot out of there. But the whole idea is don't look at it. There's
Yeah.
too much else to see here. You've got all these different details and textures and just
I forgave the hotspot because of the shadow that it's cast in the lower area of the hotspot. It just tells me, hey, this is where the sun's coming from, and bam, that's where you get it. And the rest is in sync.
Anyway, so I decided to go with this this silver tone thing rather than just a regular black and white. I just kind of liked it better.
No. All right, Steve.
very good.
Thank you.
Definitely a keeper.
West Texas windmills.
I think I'm up next, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
No?
I
Yes.
lost track. Go ahead.
Okay, West Texas windmills. Definitely know what the subject matter is.
I'll be back.
Okay, I've seen these in the past. Only issue I have is the foreground. I see that it looks like it's water in the foreground, if I'm not mistaken, but I would have liked to have the image a little more balanced. I think the sky with the windmills is overwhelming. The homes are okay, but I would have liked a little bit more foreground. If that's water, a little bit more water to balance out the image. And I realize you don't want to crop off any of the blades. So I think the photographer was stuck here. For what it is a good shot. Your windmill, especially is on it's focused. Your homes are focused, and you technically do have a foreground with the water. Who is the maker?
Myself, score 17.
Where
And
is-
yes, it is water.
Oh, okay.
I
Where
like
is that?
Sweetwater.
It's Sweetwater Lake.
Oh, okay. And may I ask, where is this located? Where,
Sweet- Sweetwater,
Sweetwater,
Texas.
Texas.
I know, but I'm not familiar with it. Where in
Oh.
Texas is that at?
About 41
Abilene.
miles west of Abilene.
Okay, oh, okay, North Texas, gotcha.
Up in the upper,
Central.
Very
upper
cool.
panhandle.
Yeah, I've yet to take a decent shot of these windmills, these turbines. So kudos to you for getting a good shot.
Hippo Pond.
Donna, you have to do this one.
I will do this one because I think this is such a dynamic, fun image. You've got the great leading lines of the yellows that are actually a reflection. So it gives you a sense of seeing part of the image that you really can't see. You've got the hippo mouth that is open and the great reflection of the hippo mouth open in the back. There's lots of detail on the hippo skin. You can tell that it's leathery. And I don't really have anything. Maybe if I was going to be super picky, I would say maybe a little less foreground. But otherwise, I think this is just a fun, dynamic, creative shot. Who's the maker?
John Kane scored 21, went in and out and came in honorable mention.
Great shot, John.
Thanks.
I'm trying to see where those reflections come from.
Well, the reflection is the hotel in the background. So
Yeah, but I'm looking at the hotel and the background is brown.
it's a kind of a yellowish orange. It is
Yeah,
four
I see what,
four different colors of brick. This place is huge. This is
Are-
Kalahari in Round Rock.
are these
Ah.
shades down? Are those shades pulled down?
No, that's a fence.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.
That's a fence that separates the different areas. Each area in Kalahari is separated. This is actually out in the entertainment area. There's two stages out here where they have, and the stages, I happened to walk around the stage. This was at going on Sunset just to see what was behind the stage because the band was on break and I saw this. I actually took this with my phone.
Ah,
Oh,
And because I left my camera with Susie sitting out front, and I walked around back just to see what was there. So I took this with my phone, and it's just, it was just so cool to see that because I've got here, you got the hippo in the front, you got elephants and a giraffe in the front, you got the hippo in the back, and there's more giraffes and zebras back in the back. This just place is covered with African animal sculptures. Inside and out.
nice. Cool.
And it has an 82,000 square foot game room for the kids to play in,
wow. That's huge.
including a lazy river, 9 slides, 4 pools, and a wave pool and a what they call a wave rider surfing machine. That's why I like Royal Caribbean Cruises, because they have this wave rider on the back end of the boat, which is kind of cool. But they loved it.
All right.
Oh, I get this one.
Creative.
I get this one.
This is standing tall.
And this image is just freaking fantastic. I love this image. I know who did it, and the whole idea of the flowers, the sunflowers, and you've got this huge one right in the front, looking out and leading the pack, and then you've got all these little bitty sunflowers in the background who are like minions. Okay, it's kind of like if you look at the Minion movie, you've got sunflowers. I like the treatment of the flowers. It's sharp, it's image. The only problem was the birds. I think if the birds had been lower in the sky, more off to the side, entering the scene versus being dead center of the scene, it would have been better, or not have the birds at all. I think the image alone and the sky and how the colors, it just pops out of the screen. It's almost 3D. It's very, very cool image. And I don't know who the maker is, but tell everybody, this is cool.
Myself scored 22, second place.
Hey,
Very
nice.
good. This is very good. You did real well.
Fun, Tammy.
Yeah, very nice job, Tammy.
I was going for the 3D look.
Well, you pulled it
Did
off.
good.
It's a great
Yeah.
image.
And it
Yeah,
is, it
definitely
is.
pulled it off.
Lots of depth there.
Yeah, it's definitely got the 3D look to it.
Very nice.
Moonlight photographer.
Okay, I think this one falls on me. Okay, what can you say about this image? There's a lot happening here. Definitely a fan. Composition wise, I love the way the water, with the reflection of the moonlight, leads you into these mountains. You just see yourself going through all the way through. And you got the foreground with this photographer. My opinion, I like the birds in the background. Foreground, not as much, but that is the eye of the beholder there. I could see myself cropping some from the right side, just a little bit, not to get rid of that little mound behind the photographer, but just a little bit more, just a sliver. The moon, well placed right at the center. All these things, including it, and to me, in my image right here on my screen, I almost see a reflection of the moon in the lower, almost at the center. I'm intrigued by it. I love the fog or the sky or the clouds, whatever you may call it, that are low. It all comes together with this black and white image and works. Who is the maker?
John Kane scored 23, first place.
You go, John.
Yeah, very well done.
And I just noticed, nobody noticed the dust spots.
Is that
The
the moon
dust
I
spot
see at
right
the
next to
center?
the moon and another one just a little bit
Oh, yeah.
right at that.
Yeah.
This was a very fun picture. And the whole idea is, it is a creation of, this is in New Zealand. And this is actually there, okay? The reflection in the water is the sun, but you don't see it because it's actually the sun shining through the mountains, causing the reflection of the water that's making the streak. And it was easily turned into a black and white image because all I had to do was turn to black and white. It already was black and white. It was because of the mountains were black, the sky was gray, the water was black. All I had to do was just say, okay, turn in black and white. The only thing I did was I added the photographer standing on the little island. God, will you guys stop sending texts? Talking
I think Trish is trying to get back in.
She is back
Yeah.
in.
Oh, there I am. I see you.
Okay.
There you are.
Yeah, I
Well,
just,
whatever you're
everything
doing
crashed
is
over
in
here.
my ears. I gotta turn my phone off. Because it's causing me all kinds of issues.
Trish is connected
No,
with her phone
the
and
whole
her.
thing of it is, and I know that Donna was talking to me, she didn't like the birds on the left-hand side. And I did that to show some sort of scale. There were lots of geese around there. And I didn't capture the geese flying because when we were there, we stayed in this bay on a boat in New Zealand. And this is actually one of the sounds and that you can go cruising on. And we spent the night on this boat and it rained the whole time we were there. Going to this spot, all the spot we were there, it rained. So the sky was cloudy. And all I had to do was stick the moon up there. I already had a moon with the clouds in front of it. I just popped some birds in there and I put a photographer standing on the rock. That's all I did to it. Other than that, it was just the way it was. I got up in the morning and this was sunrise and it stopped raining and I took the picture. About 15 minutes later, it started raining again.
Good timing, John.
Blue-eyed Sacagawea.
Can I ask a question? Or did we move into creative?
Yes.
Yes.
Where'd you go?
I don't know. I
Well,
didn't see
we
my
never
own
had that
travel-
transition.
I didn't see my own
Maybe
travel
she's had a
image.
lot of wine too.
We didn't
You
have
only
that
missed one, so.
slide.
Yeah, I didn't see my own travel image. Did we miss it?
Yeah. Yeah, we just kind of slipped from one to the other without that usual.
Did you say you didn't see yours in
I
travel?
didn't see my travel image at all.
Yeah, the prismatic pool
Oh,
landscape.
is that like, okay, that's fine. I guess I thought it was in a different category. Okay, that's fine.
How much wine have you
Sorry.
had, Trish?
Is it like, hey, I'm the one that's
Maybe
drinking
not
almost
enough.
I'm drinking margaritas, okay?
No, we even talked about that.
Who's doing this one?
You're right. I just thought that was a different category. That's fine.
Someone's up. I just did the last one.
Go, John.
Is it me? It took a while before everybody finally realized what this was. And Sacagawea was because she's on the dollar coin. And I think it's a macro, super macro really of it. I think the only thing that I saw of that, I really liked it because you can really tell the eyes, though if you look at the coin itself, her eyes are not black. So that had to be something put in there to color it black. The only thing I didn't like about it was the smile. I wish the smile had been in focus. It's almost like it was taken with a tilt shift lens to get the out of focus at the top, out of focus at the bottom, and a strip in the middle that was sharp. That's how that works. But God dang it. I just disconnected my hearing aids. It's somebody's sending me this. But anyway, it's a great image. Who's the maker?
Patrick Murray, score of 19, honorable mention.
I think I've done every Patrick picture except one. God.
Very nice. All right, Patrick. Well handled.
Story of loss. It was supposed to be named wrong. I got the email after I'd already processed everything.
Who's up?
I am. So I think this is a great composite image that tells a story with the Native American up front and the bison. And it's got the faded images of the background that really enhances the story of loss and gives it a haunting quality. My only ticky-tacky, really picky thing is that the front legs of the bison are it's kind of hard for me to like really tell where the leg is, and I know it's in grass, but I wish I could see just a little bit more of that front leg. And I know that is super, super picky, but I think this is well handled and tells just a great story with a lot of impact and creativity. Who's the maker?
Peter Florsack, score of 21, third place.
When I first saw it, I first thought the bison was laying down. So that's just, I noticed that what you're talking about the front leg. I just thought it looked, bison, when they start to lay down, they bend at the knees and they get down on their knees and then they kind of roll back on their haunches. And so that was what I thought was going on. I didn't really, but I love this image. I really do.
I have to say, as a wildlife photographer, you almost always run into this issue of the tall grass hiding part of your wildlife. So you just kind of have to accept it if you can get a good shot of the rest of the animal. I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can see in the back legs, you can see the grass. It's got some highlight to it. So you can really tell there's a dark leg right there. But in the front, you can't. You can see the highlight on the grass up by his chin and his whiskers. But right there, that little dark spot where that leg is, it looks like it's bent. And that's why I thought it was kneeling and getting ready to hunker down. But anyway, I love the scratches and stuff like that. It's back to me.
You lost the audio.
Okay, this is I can't say this.
What was the score on that last one?
21,
20,
third place.
21 in third place. I can't really say too much about this. I mean, it's I already know who it is because it's the only person that ever enters water lilies. But I love the colors of these lilies. And I don't know if this is the actual color of the lily or if this is when his recreation of the colors of the lily, and it looks like everything else is black and white, and you got this nice pink lily popping up on the top, right dead center, and it's just sharp. It's really cool image. I can't really say too much about it because it's a Steve Manchester lily. So let's make her.
Okay, what was the score?
Score 17.
Okay, all right.
No, I mean, I just, it's just kind of like one of these days he's going to do something besides water lilies. But you know, no, I like the colors of your lilies. How you change the colors. You can make them iridescent, or you make them different colors. Did you recolor this lily?
Yeah, that's a white. It's a white water lily, and the lily pad should be green, of course. So
yeah.
So anyway, I turned the lily pads green, and I turned a white lily pink, and sharpened it as sharp as I could get it, because that's the one that looked the best.
Look, I mean, it's a cool. I mean, all your lilies are cool. They really are.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Mercy.
All right, painting with light. I love it. Not very easily done. It takes several tries. You know, I've tried this, and we played this one time, maybe 10 years ago at Peter's place. We played a little bit with light. It's fun. It's an adventure, and she definitely pulled this off on this one. Maker.
Trish Stone, score of 18.
All right. Must have
No,
been
they're not
practice.
easy to do.
No, they're not. How many tries did it take, Trish?
Many. It's hard, you know, you end up writing over yourself, right? I mean, that's the problem. One letter ends up on top of the other, that kind of thing.
So
Yeah,
how
probably
did you do this?
Probably the
With a
problem is doing it
flashlight.
backwards.
Just
You have to-
pointed a flashlight, so I'm standing actually behind. You can kind of see off to the right there. That's the curtains in my front room, so it's not as dark as I'd like it, but and I probably could have cropped that out. But I'm standing there with a flashlight and I'm writing backwards in the dark with a flashlight.
That's pretty good, Trish.
Yeah,
Well,
it
like I
is.
said, there's a lot of throwaways, you know.
As good as that came out, how many times did you do this before you got the one you
I
wanted?
remember, well, and part of it is I started off with a really big word.
Oh.
And I realized pretty quickly that was a mistake. There had too many letters. And so after a little bit of trying, I thought, okay, 5 letters is probably the max I want to do, because it's just too hard to get them in there. And it's too hard to not write on top of your previous letter. And you really kind of have to keep your arm tucked in next to your body and really be careful how you do it. And yeah, like I said, the hardest thing is not writing over what you just did and writing letters backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when,
And if you notice these letters, they're a little more forgiving. There are some letters that are just real hard to do backwards without a lot of thought.
yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's kind of, you have to be able to turn them on and off, and unless you're going to try to tie them all together and tie
Oh,
them
yeah,
all-
exactly. Otherwise you have the lines going from one letter to the next. So that's it
Yeah.
exactly. It's on, off, on, off, on, off, without moving your hand all over the place. Yeah, it just takes a lot of work.
There's Jim Landers. I don't know if he's still doing it or not. Way back when I was still taking classes from him, oh, I don't know, several years ago, then 14 or 15, was teaching how to do this. And one of the things, I know I have one image I did of, and the one I really like to do is with a flashlight and a flash. And that's to have somebody with a light pen sit there and draw. And there was a big famous picture of Picasso Picasso, I think it's still hanging in Chicago, that what he did is, it was all done on film, and he did a picture, if you've ever seen his drawing of the bull, he actually did it with a light. He drew the bull with the light. Now this is in film, right? And then you hit him with a flash. The flash shows him in the background with the bull drawn. I have it somewhere. If I have it, I'll have to
I'm guessing
show
that
it
was,
someday.
that's like the light painting is done and then there's a delayed flash would be my guess.
Yeah, we did the flash on the end.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to do. I like doing that. I do it a lot with my kids, with the grandkids. They love it. And then I have them use sparklers.
Yeah, yeah. I have some sparklers. I thought I might try that. I didn't have time.
Yeah.
It's just fun to do, you know.
It
And it
is.
didn't
It's very,
take any
it's very creative.
Photoshop.
It's very creative. It's very creative.
It didn't take any Photoshop, which makes it right up my alley. Yeah.
Okay,
And
that's the
that's
last one.
all, folks.
That's all.
We done.
All
Yay.
right. Way to go, guys.
Okay,
All
All right.
nice
I really
work,
enjoyed-
everybody.
Yeah.
Nice work.
really
All right,
Thanks
so
to the-
thank
thanks
you.
to the judges tonight. I appreciate everybody judging.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate that.
So
Um,
just a quick comment, next in September, our education meeting, we talked about all meeting in person. And we looked for a hotel where we could book a room and get a back room, but they all want, 35 people or $100 or something. So we had talked about just taking the option of all going to Mamacita's, where we could probably all get a table and push it together, but we wouldn't have reservations or anything. So
What's the date?
that's the first Thursday
In
in
September. I want to say the 1st or the 3rd or,
September.
It's the first, it is the 1st of September.
First
Yeah.
of September, first Thursday.
It's Labor Day
Yeah.
weekend, guys.
Well, it's not the
Golden
weekend, though, it's
Corral
Thursday.
used to-
Yeah.
Golden
I'm-
Corral used to have a room.
Where
as
does-
That's
did
true?
Golden Corral, all you can eat steak place on 410. Not great, but not bad.
Well, if you want to give them a call and see if we can get it, book the room for then.
Now, everybody will have to buy a meal.
Right.
We're all gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, as long as it's not an added
Anywhere we go.
expense. Yeah, so, yeah, Ken, are you gonna be able to check that out?
Yeah, I can check it out.
Let us know as quick as you
I'll
can.
email you and Peter and John and
Okay,
Yeah,
y'all can
that
figure it
sounds-
out.
that
and our
sounds-
fallback
Which
will be
location are you
Mamacita's.
talking about?
Do what, Trish?
Which location are you talking about?
Which-
Thought there was only one. It's on 410.
No, there's
Evers
one at
area?
1604. There's one at 1604.
Yeah, one
It's
sixteen
410.
near Bandera.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
14.
there's one at 1604 near Bandera. That's why I'm asking.
There's one
I
on
didn't know
Fat
that
Booker.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that. See if that doesn't work. I guess our fallback would be Mamacitas.
Mama.
Yeah.
We just, get our own
7:30.
meals.
Good night, Jack.
Night, Jack.
Hi.
Night, Jack.
All right, Jack.
That sounds like fun. Real quick, with the light painting that Trish did, I think we did something like that 10 years ago at Peters, correct?
We did.
And
We did.
correct me if I'm wrong, I think we did multiple images on one shot using the flash system I had, correct?
Right, we had somebody run in the dark and then we opened up left our shutters open on bulb and then flashed them once, then they would move a couple feet and then flash them again, and then they moved a couple feet. And,
That was pretty cool. I enjoyed
That
that.
sounds like fun.
it was
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so you had multiple images on one shot because your camera's wide open.
Right.
Hey,